The nurse caring for an elderly woman named Olivia Stone in her large house calls Ed, the owner of the home care agency, and desperately asks him to find someone to cover for her. Tracy has not slept for 3 days, besides, she has a very bad feeling. For now, the nurse has no choice but to obey all of Olivia's whims, since the woman can barely move on her own. Tracy tries her best to keep herself together, but the uneasy feeling only keeps growing stronger. Dale is woken by a call from the agency. Ed asks her to come in urgently because Tracy has disappeared. It looks as if the nurse has simply abandoned her patient. For Dale, this is a chance, since she was recently suspended. The young woman badly needs this job, so she heads to the address without delay. Olivia lives very far away. Dale meets Tom, whose name is listed as the emergency contact. He has been helping Olivia for the past couple of years, ever since her husband died. Among other things, Olivia has trouble breathing. Dale immediately realizes that the elderly woman's character is anything but easy. Besides, she cannot stand it when anyone moves things around in her house. When Dale is carrying her things in from the car, a little girl from next door, Tom's daughter, comes up to her and says that no caregiver has lasted more than 3 days, because a ghost lives in the house. Dale, however, is not frightened by the ghost at all. In the past, Olivia was a famous conductor and performed concerts all over the world. With a wave of her hand, the hall would erupt in applause, and the finest musicians wanted to work with her. As a woman, Olivia had to work even harder to earn recognition. So she will not tolerate disrespect, even if the nurse is the one telling her what time to take her medicine. Olivia misses her late husband, Albert, terribly. She used to visit his grave, but because of her health problems, she can no longer do that. Now he visits her instead. Dale thinks Olivia is simply showing the first signs of dementia. Jacob, the grocery delivery man, is clearly upset to learn that Tracy has quit. She used to leave generous tips from the rich old lady's pocket. For some reason, Tracy did not tell anyone anything. That evening, Dale serves Olivia dinner in bed. The nurse remarks on how beautiful the paintings on the wall are. Olivia explains that Tom painted them. Some time ago she bought several to help him out. Olivia asks the nurse how old she is. Dale answers that she is 28. By that age, Olivia had already written 4 symphonies. She had even performed before the Queen of England. Before bed, Dale video calls her boyfriend, Ben, when she suddenly hears a noise. The nurse goes to check whether Olivia is alright. The woman anxiously says that it is her husband, Albert, even though she asked him not to go into Dale's room. According to Olivia, Albert is standing in the hallway right now, behind them. Of course, Dale sees no one, but she still feels uneasy, as if there is someone else in the house. The next day, Dale suggests that Olivia, who has not left the house in a long time, take a short walk. After breathing in the fresh air and feeling the warm sunlight on her face, Olivia sincerely thanks the nurse. Dale notices Penny, Tom's daughter. The girl asks Dale whether she has seen the ghost yet. That same evening, Olivia has a choking episode, but the nurse acts quickly and turns on the oxygen in time. Olivia insists that Albert was there, and that he was the one who turned off the machine so she would join him sooner. Dale tries to calm the elderly woman down, saying it was just a bad dream. In reality, Dale is noticing more and more alarming signs of someone else's presence. She discovers that Olivia's sheet music is scattered across the floor. Someone unlocked the cabinet and threw the pages around. Dale checks every room to make sure there is no one else here. But she fails to notice the figure beneath the window. It was Jacob, spying on the new nurse and taking pictures of her. In the morning, Ben calls Dale and asks her to come back. He is tired of her constant shifts and overtime, while she is doing everything she can to prove herself. Dale could simply be fired, and honestly, Ben would even be glad if that happened. Dale says she cannot just abandon everything, because this is her career. The man in turn forces her to choose, either him or the job. When she refuses to quit, Ben ends their relationship. Deeply upset, Dale calls Ed and asks him to find her a replacement as soon as possible. Technically, they are supposed to work in shifts. He replies that it will take at least a week. The agency is short-staffed. Before bed, the nurse reads a book to Olivia. Suddenly, the woman asks whether Dale has a fiancé or a husband. Dale only answers evasively, saying she is too busy. Olivia says with regret that work was her whole life, and that is why she is alone now. Dale has only one relative, a sister she has never met. The girl's mother died in childbirth, and they were sent to different foster families. Olivia is curious why Dale spends her time on old people. Dale admits that she dreamed of becoming a doctor, but she was not a very good student. Dale likes helping people. Olivia is truly glad the girl is here. She is not like the others, her kindness is not fake. There is a room upstairs in the house with a locked door. Dale asks what is behind it. Olivia explains that it is Albert's study. After his death, she locked the room so no one would go inside. Dale accidentally finds Tracy's badge. That night, the girl cannot sleep. Suddenly footsteps sound somewhere in the house, making Dale instantly alert. She goes to check what is going on and notices that the door to one of the rooms is open. Suddenly the door closes by itself. Olivia has another attack. Because of the storm, there has been a power outage. Dale rushes down to the basement to turn on the generator. There, she runs into Tom, who saw that the lights had gone out. He had been knocking but no one answered. While Tom deals with the generator, Dale rushes back to Olivia's room, where the woman is already lying unconscious. Fortunately the power comes back on, and Dale quickly places the oxygen mask over Olivia's face. The woman starts breathing again. Feeling unimaginable relief, Dale cannot hold back and cries from the stress of what she has just been through. Tom offers to stay a while to make sure the generator keeps working properly. Dale makes coffee. Tom tells her how he moved here with his daughter after his wife Elaine left. For some reason this house has always frightened Penny. Dale mentions that she feels uneasy here too. Besides, Dale cannot help worrying about the fact that Tracy disappeared without telling anyone anything. She still has not shown up at the agency. Tom has to work a lot and take care of his daughter on his own, so it is hard for him to make friends. The man is truly glad Dale stayed to take care of Olivia. He impulsively kisses her, which instantly makes things awkward between them. Tom decides it would be better for him to leave. The next morning Detective Burke appears on the doorstep, investigating Tracy's disappearance. All Dale knows is that Tracy was caring for Mrs. Stone before her. Tracy also left behind her badge, which contains a lot of personal information. While Dale goes to get the badge, Detective Burke asks Olivia what she remembers about the night her previous caregiver disappeared. The woman only says that Tracy abandoned her to her fate while she was helpless. Meanwhile Olivia and Dale grow closer and closer. At one point the elderly woman mentions that on the day Tracy disappeared, she heard knocking at the door and shouting. She remembers nothing else. Dale asks Olivia whether she told the detective about this. Olivia insists that she did, although she did not. Ed calls Dale and tells her that a new nurse will arrive tomorrow. She asks whether there has been any news about Tracy. The man replies that she did not even pick up her last check. Noticing Penny looking sad by the lake, Dale walks up to the girl and asks what happened. Penny says she got into a fight at school. She did not tell her father because he does not like being bothered. The girl also mentions that her father called Tracy a close friend. Dale thought Tom's wife had simply left, but it turns out she died. Penny, however, is not allowed to talk about it. Tom intervenes, harshly ordering his daughter to go into the house. She is being punished for fighting at school. However, Dale no longer believes what he says. He is clearly hiding something. Soon Jacob calls Dale and advises her to be careful around Tom, because he supposedly took his wife's life and got away with it. Jacob is sure Tom is the one behind Tracy's disappearance. Full of doubts, Dale searches for information on Google. Later, she calls Ed and shares her concerns. Tom may be involved in this. Ed, however, prefers to leave the matter to the police. Out of nowhere, Olivia declares that she heard Tom's voice that night. He was pounding on the door and was clearly angry. Olivia gets confused in her memories, and when Dale asks the woman to explain in more detail, she abruptly changes the subject, asking the nurse to make tea. At night a phone rings, but it is not Dale's phone, it is Tracy's. Tom's name appears on the screen. Dale immediately calls Detective Burke. Tracy could not have disappeared of her own free will while leaving her phone in a stranger's house. Olivia declares that she wants Dale to leave. According to the elderly woman, Albert told her everything about the new nurse, that someone died while under her care. Dale confirms that a patient died during her shift, but she did everything she could. The patient had an allergic reaction to a medication. The previous nurse had not left any instructions. But Olivia can no longer trust Dale with her life and wants the nurse to leave right now. Dale explains that this is impossible because the agency will not be able to send a replacement until tomorrow. Their argument is interrupted by a knock at the door. Dale thinks it is Detective Burke, but it is Tom. He insists on coming in and talking. Dale makes it clear that she knows about his lies, and that he must have been sneaking into the house at night to retrieve Tracy's phone before it ended up in the hands of the police. That would explain why footsteps and creaking are constantly heard in the house. When Dale mentions her conversation with Jacob, Tom says that Jacob had been spying on Tracy and taking pictures of her. That was exactly why Tom attacked Jacob. And Tom does not deny that he came here on the night Tracy disappeared, but only because he was worried. Strange things had been happening lately. But Dale still does not believe Tom because he lied to her about his wife. Tom only says that it is complicated. Dale, however, thinks he moved here with his daughter to hide from all the questions and the guilt. In a fit of rage, Tom grabs Dale by the wrist, just as the police arrive. And although Tom denies everything, he is arrested. Dale gives Detective Burke Tracy's phone. Olivia has already forgotten that just a few minutes ago, she was trying to drive the nurse away. Dale wonders who could have told Olivia about the patient's death. Tom's house is cordoned off by the police. Watching this, Jacob smiles smugly. Olivia sees on the news that Tom has been arrested. He became the prime suspect after Tracy's belongings were found in his backyard. Dale accidentally breaks Olivia's favorite mug, which deeply upsets the elderly woman. Albert made that mug for her. Ed calls Dale and apologizes for not believing her about Tom. He is also ready to take Dale back full-time and even compensate her for the time she lost. The new nurse, Alice Page, will arrive in a couple of hours. Dale packs her things, getting ready to leave. Suddenly she notices that in the surveillance footage from Olivia's room, the mug is still intact on the bedside table. Dale assumes the video has frozen and follows the wire, which leads her to Albert's study. She decides to pick the lock. Behind the door, she finds a monitor that is also showing the feed from the surveillance camera. Suddenly the door locks. Panicking, Dale calls Ed and says that she thinks Olivia took Tracy's life. He has to warn the nurse as soon as possible. Alice is already here. Ed does not understand where Dale even got the idea that a sick elderly woman could have anything to do with it. She is bedridden. But only now does Dale understand why Olivia is so particular about everything staying in its place. Her surveillance footage is on a loop. The woman is probably more mobile than she looks, and she could have planted Tracy's things in Tom's backyard. She is even faking her dementia. Since no one answers, Alice enters the house. Suddenly Dale glances at the screen and sees that Olivia is not in bed. Alice ignores Ed's call, thinking he is going to nag her about being late. Meanwhile, Dale climbs out through the window onto the roof and jumps down. Alice's scream comes from inside the house. Dale cautiously enters the house, and first of all arms herself with a kitchen knife. When someone sneaks up behind her, Dale wounds the person in fright. It turns out to be Jacob. Dale shouts for him to put pressure on the wound. The man in turn screams that he saw everything and begs her not to go in there. Olivia attacks the nurse. Dale tries to fight her off and convince the woman that she does not want to hurt her. But Olivia does not listen. Dale pushes the elderly woman, and she hits her head on the bedside table and drops dead. By that point Jacob is no longer breathing either. There is one more body in the house, Alice's. Dale is in a state of shock. The police arrive, called by Ed. Dale is taken to the station for questioning. Detective Burke shows her a video from Olivia's bedroom, capturing the nurse abusing the elderly woman. Dale denies that it is her in the video. However, the detective already has his own theory. Dale could have taken Tracy's life to get her job and get close to Olivia's safe. She could have framed Tom to divert suspicion from herself, then gotten rid of the unwanted witnesses. But this theory begins to fall apart when the coroner's report comes in. Jacob did not die because of the wound. Shortly before that, he received a call from someone at a hotel outside the city. Detective Burke arranges for Tom to be released from custody, but only so he can have him followed. The detective catches Tom trying to hide a black wig for a woman. Tom admits that Olivia made him her trusted representative because she had no relatives. However, Detective Burke has no doubt that Tom wanted Olivia's money, but did not want to wait for it. He had been framing Dale from the very beginning, especially given that a patient had recently died under her care. Jacob probably found out about his plan and started blackmailing him. They decided to split Olivia's fortune and even came up with the story about the photos and the fight to make it look to Dale as if there was a conflict. Tom did everything he could to get arrested. That way he secured the perfect alibi. Jacob came to adjust the camera, and at that moment while Dale was busy with Olivia, someone finished the guy off. But who could it have been? The detective already has the answer: Tracy. The police found her in a hotel outside the city, very much alive. Tracy and Tom had been in on it from the very beginning. In a black wig and a blue uniform, Tracy is a perfect copy of Dale. But everything went wrong when Alice suddenly appeared. Jacob had agreed to help the old, sick woman pass away sooner, but he had not agreed to taking the young nurse's life. His conscience kicked in, so he tried to warn Dale. That is why Tracy got rid of Jacob. Tom keeps stubbornly insisting that Dale is behind all of this. But here is the problem: Dale could not have held the knife in her right hand the way the murderer did, because her right hand does not function properly due to a neurological condition. The police have already investigated Tom's finances and found out that he has large debts because of gambling. Tom had already received the insurance payout after his wife's death, but it was not enough for him. Tom says that without proof, these are just words. The detective, however, has irrefutable evidence: videos Jacob filmed in case Tom tried to double-cross him. During the arrest, Tom breaks free and tries to run. Detective Burke has to shoot him. Ed picks Dale up from the police station. The agency takes her back full-time. Dale says tiredly that she needs some time before her next assignment. Seeing Penny, Dale asks the detective what will happen to the girl. Burke assures Dale that her grandfather is ready to take her in. Penny is very sad. Despite everything, she loved her father very much. The first thing Dale decides to do after all the madness she has been through is meet the sister she has never seen.